Welcome back, everybody, to The Dish with Chase and Ben. My name is Chase.
I'm Glenn.
Hi, Glenn.
Hi, Ken.
Not that name.
Ken.
Not like this.
Ken, I can do whatever I need to.
I'm itchy all of a sudden. I just get so excited.
You're being a little weird right now. Okay.
Just a little weird.
What are we talking about today, Ben?
We're talking about an incredible movie by an incredible cast of actors. Dots, the Dot movie. No, we're talking about Event Horizon, which graced the silver... Look at that. Get the microphone out of the way. Silly Gus. Event Horizon. I really do like that shirt a lot. A lot.
It's a good shirt.
Oh, it's so gross.
Yeah, it's gross.
Event Horizon, it graced the silver screen in the year of our Lord 1997. It's a crisp hour and 36 minutes.
Perfect time. Perfect amount of time.
That's why I love thrillers and horrors. No, thrillers can be like 8 hours
They
long.
can be
and
pretty
they
long.
Annoy the hell out of me.
Yeah, they can be pretty long.
Horror movies, which I would say this is definitely more horror, is like hour 15, hour 30, let's go.
Right.
And I love it. At the time of this recording, which is a week before it's coming out because we're on our we're on our shit this week.
Yeah, we are.
It is streaming on Showtime, which is I think its own app, or you can add it onto your Amazon Prime Video.
Oh, okay. Or HBO, I think, Max, and you can add it on there.
Okay.
Or no, I don't know. Whatever.
I
I
can't
don't freaking know.
Freaking no. I do just want to say, I want to speak to the elephant in the room. We have snacks this episode because we went to our friendly neighborhood Get and Go, and I got my favorite drink ever. This is Powerade Zero Mixed Berries, 0 calorie sugar. 0 calorie sugar. Mm-hmm. And the first time I had this, I was at my aunt and uncle's house, and we went to the beach. And this was when I was a teenager, so I was trying to look cool. And to the beach in the dead of summer, I wore a flannel and black skinny jeans. And I got sunstroke, like heat poisoning.
That's crazy. That's
I
so
know.
surprising.
Unforeseen by me. Mm-hmm. So when I got back, I was laying in their cold, dark basement on the ground. And my aunt was like, I have these Powerades. This might make you feel better. And it cured me instantly. So now
you were just slightly dehydrated and you thought you were
slightly
dying.
dehydrated.
Probably.
I mean, you've known me for a while now. No, I had heat stroke. I couldn't see, kind of. Mm-hmm. Maybe we can stop judging me so much right now. No up-downing me. Mm-hmm. Just don't chew too much into the microphone. I don't know if people didn't like how the Break the Ice game sounded, I don't think they would like to hear.
I think they would like the ASMR.
You picking
blah, blah, blah,
dots out of your teeth.
Dot. Okay, let's see.
Dot.
It's a great movie. It's a sci-fi horror.
Right back at it.
Sci-fi horror. It's a great movie. It's like Hellraiser in space. It's very, very, very gory. It's very intense. It's very bleak. It's very dark.
Shockingly gory to the point where at one point it was more gory because at one point it had an NC-17 rating.
Right.
And they had to edit it down to
trim
get
the
it
fat.
to R.
They had to trim the fat off. Yeah.
Which is scary to me. I don't even want to know what was in there before
it was great.
we saw it.
The effects are awesome. Things are disgusting. Things are I think hold up for the most part, I would say.
Yeah, there's some like shots of the space stations that are like, okay, we get it. Like, but then there's some like when they're leaving, it was like the purple, like the rings of fire. Mm-hmm. That looks incredible.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Ship is sweet.
Yeah, basically like a synopsis, a quick overview of the movie. A rescue crew investigates a spaceship that has disappeared into a black hole and has now returned with someone or something new on board. So basically the ship goes missing and the man who created the ship wants to go find it. So they end up finding where it's at. They have a crew with them led by the great Lawrence Fishburne.
True.
Young Lawrence Fishburne.
Lawrence Fishburne.
Seriously. What's that? Oh, I was going to say posthumously, but he's not dead. Thank God.
Yeah, he's all good.
He's still
all
with
good,
us.
Man.
Yeah,
And Sam Neill is the guy that actually creates the ship that's looking for it.
Yeah.
Sam Neill is also the guy that's the main doctor in Jurassic Park, for those who are listening that don't know who Sam Neill is.
me. Is Sam Neill English?
I think he's British, yeah.
Okay, because he has an English accent in this movie, but
He's
he
also
doesn't.
in Peaky Blinders.
He
Also in
is?
he's also in a ton of horror movies. He's in another movie called In the Mouth of Madness, and that's a really
And that
really
one
good
vampire movie we were watching right before we watched
Daybreakers.
Daybreakers.
Yeah, that's
He's
good
in a
movie,
lot
too.
of movies.
Yeah, he's in a lot of scary movies.
He's a good guy.
It's a pretty good studded cast, and like I said, I think that like it does hold up in the sense of like it's very like alien looking. It's very like like the movie Alien. So it's very like techie looking, but also outdated, and like and it's cool because like what we have talked about before is the fact that like this is what they thought the future would be like.
Yeah, the movie
you know
the movie is set in the year 2047. So this is like the not too distant future.
From us, yeah.
Yeah,
sure, yeah.
but I just really don't see us having ships like this. Like the ship, like their ship that they fly over, one, artificial gravity all over the place, which I want to say we don't have that yet.
I don't know.
I don't think we do have artificial gravity, because if we do, why wouldn't people in the space station not be floating around like idiots?
I don't know.
Yeah. So, like, I feel like we don't have artificial gravity yet. What else? It's just a big ship. So I was watching this documentary about Star Wars when I was a kid, and they were talking about one of the most unbelievable parts of Star Wars was how big the windows were in all of the starships. Because, like, to get strong enough glass, or strong enough anything that you can see through that crystal clear, it's, like, not imagined yet. Like if you think about like the space, if you've ever seen like pictures on the space station, it shows a window, it's like this big.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like teeny weeny tiny head face. So like in this ship, like the whole the bridge is like all these windows, you can see all over the place, everything. So it's just like, yeah, I don't know about this.
The front of the ship though almost looks like not nice. It looks like rugged. It looks
the front of
the Event Horizon.
The Event Horizon.
Yeah.
Because there's two ships. There's the Event Horizon,
Lewis and Clark.
And the Lewis and Clark, which I love that. Yeah. I didn't pick that up the first time I watched that movie. When we rewatched it, I was like, oh, that's a really cool name for like a ship going to explore and find like this other ship. I thought that was really cool.
Agreed.
But yeah, they go to find the ship. They find the ship and they're kind of like trying to basically see like, okay, who's still on board? Like what's going on?
What happened to the old crew?
Yeah. Spoiler alert, they all fucking
perish.
Really horribly.
Terrible ways, yeah.
And like throughout the movie, I think that's the way that they clipped it down to R instead of NC-17, because they keep finding like footage from the ship, and it's just like horrible, like people eating each other, ripping each other up, like
taking
gnarly.
eyes out.
Yeah, lots of snatching the eyes.
Indeed, it's because that's like gross, and people like that would make anyone like
it would also be so easy if you think about it. Just
they would just come out so fast.
Let me try. Let me just try to get one really quick.
No, dude, I can't. I only
just
have
one
two.
of them. You have two.
Honestly,
all right, you grab one out of me.
Sometimes I think if you had to lose one eye, which eye would you want to use?
My left eye has more of a prescription, so get rid of her.
Oh, I would prefer my right. I think.
I'm right eye dominant.
I'm not dominant. I'm left eye dominant.
Which drives me crazy. You're left eye dominant and right hand dominant.
I know.
Yours just has my own.
I'd have like the sickest fake eyes, and then I would have and then I would have like a really dope like eye patch that was like black leather, and then it would be black leather, and then it would have like just like a really nice like red jewel, like right where your eye would be. You know what I mean? Like
what kind of red jewel?
Like a
Which
ruby
jewel?
or like
ruby?
a garnet?
Not ruby garnet. Rubies are gross.
Like a blood ruby.
Oh
yeah. It would be like really, really evil.
Just like
it'd be like evil eye,
caked in controversy.
It'd be a cursed eye patch.
Cursed. When you put it on, you just start speaking in tongues.
Yes.
Maybe just one more Twizzler, huh?
Take one, pass it around.
99 bottles of Twizzlers are left.
I'll have one too. Here. Just slap.
This is gonna be a nightmare. I can't eat and talk.
You can't eat and talk. So. I love. Oh yeah. So really quick though, trivia stuff. We got to talk about some stuff really quick because you did mention that one thing already about the NC-17.
Oh yeah,
and that was interesting as well.
I find it wild.
I thought it was cool when we found out that the spacesuits were 65 pounds, and that they can't
talk
move.
about that for a second.
Yeah. So they have these really cool spacesuits, but they're hefty. You know, in the movie.
Now you're going to talk with food in your mouth. That's why I wanted you to talk, because I have food in my mouth.
I can do it because I'm awesome. So they have these spacesuits. They're pretty big. But in real life, these spacesuits weighed 65 pounds. And they couldn't also, like, sit or do anything because, like, they weren't, like, bendable. Like, you couldn't do that.
Yeah, they weren't very opposable.
Yeah, so, like, on the brakes, they had to, like, build these, like, poles, basically, that they could just, like, lean up against and just, like, rest their bodies on, which is, like, so ridiculous to me.
I feel like 65 pounds, like, all over your body isn't that crazy.
What did Lawrence Fishburne call it again?
Dolores.
Doris. Lawrence Fishburne called his Doris like a lady that he didn't want to be. Like, he's like, oh, God.
Doris. Get Doris off my back. It's funny because I'm sitting here saying, like, 65 pounds all over your body wouldn't be that wild. I've lost 68 pounds, and it was a life-changing situation.
A lot of weight, yeah.
I don't think I'd want that.
And the dude that made this movie was the person that made the original Mortal Kombat movie.
Yeah, the director.
Super dope. Yeah.
Which is funny. Give me a second. Let me look that up because we talked about that. Yeah, so the director, directed by Paul W.S. Anderson. So he directed the Mortal Kombat movie, and he was like, this is so goofy, this is so silly, I want to do something more serious. So he ended up taking this movie on because originally he was going to direct the X-Men movie.
Yeah, the first X-Men, which is a dope movie, too.
It's an incredible movie.
Super sick. That's one of my favorite ones.
Honestly, I love that Bryan Singer did it because he did the trilogy, and I think it's really,
he did a good
really
job.
Good.
No, it was great. I thought it was great. I don't think it could be done better. Like, it was meant to be.
And it was done more serious, which was nice, but I think this was definitely more of the path that
I agree.
Paul W.S. Anderson wanted to take.
Pule W.S. Sandersons.
That one. The Sandersons.
The Sanderson sisters. Oh. It's true.
Delicious.
It also only took 10 months to make this movie, which is ridiculous.
It's asinine to me.
If you watch this movie, like, there's so many, like, intense scenes.
Seriously.
And, like, I feel like the set just is cool. Like, you got those, like, chamber rooms. You've got, like, the little places where they stay and sleep. Like, they've got the lab. They've got the medical place. Like, it's a sweet little... It's like Prometheus, kind of. You know, like, it's like that kind of shit.
Very similar.
Yeah.
But, like, honestly, if we're talking about set, we need to get into the most integral set piece of the entire ship, the Event Horizon, which is the core.
Yeah, the core of the ship, which is in the back of the ship. It's like the way back. You got to pass through this hallway, basically, that is, like, what does it say? Oh, yeah.
They describe it as a meat grinder.
Yeah, but the reason that it looks the way it does is basically to strip you of any, like, magnetic, like, field or anything like that before you reach the core, so you don't like, mess with the core. So it's, like, basically like this spinning hallway, but it looks like blades, kind of.
Yeah.
It? Yeah.
Like, it, honestly, like, it does look like a meat grinder. Or, like,
it's
you go
scary.
to, what is it, Olive Garden, where they have those Parmesan?
Yeah.
That.
Like a pepper
it looks like
grinder.
that, but, like, real long.
Yeah, it's sweet. So you walk down this, like, slender, like, crazy thing like that, and then you get to this core.
Slender crazy thing was my nickname in high school.
The core is probably, 9-10 feet tall. It's huge.
Oh.
Yeah, it's huge.
Oh, the core itself, yeah,
it's
9-10
giant,
feet tall. But the room that it's in is, like,
it's
4
huge.
stories tall. It's a huge room.
But it's almost like a giant circle room. It's like a orb.
Yeah. For me, the first time I saw it, I thought it looked like the Senate chambers in Star Wars.
Sure.
But it's not that big.
No,
but it is very big. If you want to get a little bit more of an idea of what the core looks like, if you go on Instagram, if you saw us post on Instagram about this episode, we posted a GIF of the core moving.
It's disgusting.
It's so ominous looking.
It's terrifying.
It's like a circular.
It's like a ball that has
like
rings that are coming around it, but it seems to almost be concrete or like steel.
It's like steel. Stone and steel. Yeah. It looks rough. It looks uncomfortable.
It looks rough, but it looks like it has these like panels all over it too. So it looks like
lights all over.
Yeah, it looks like well made. It looks like something that was like manufactured, but it's like some reason it looks bad though. It looks not right. It doesn't look good.
We were talking about it, and you compared it to a
puzzle box.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because Clive Barker was consulting on the set for this movie, who's the guy who made Hellraiser, because this was influenced by Hellraiser, which is actually hilarious, which makes sense. But it's like a circular puzzle box that's huge. You have to check out the GIF because it's a gross thing. It looks so and it's huge. So it's just like, and when it lines up, because it has these lights on the ring, so when it lines up properly and everything's together, it looks. We were talking about this before. Like, I feel like what it does is it almost gives you like an idea of its actual size.
Yeah,
because it almost like it's all there, right? And you're like, oh my gosh, it's almost like overwhelmingly big, right?
Yeah,
it like engulfs you. Like, it feels like
you know. Like, you've seen those pictures of like biblically accurate angels where they have like all the rings going around them. It looks like that. It's just like, it's very unsettling.
It is.
It looks like something completely not natural.
Good. Yeah, definitely does.
Oh, it's gross.
Which is cool. Like, this is something that's cool to me because, like, again, like what we've talked about before is like the cool thing is that at first you don't know that the core is bad, but you know it is.
It's and
it's
you
like
can
a
tell
feeling
just
like
the
way that they make it, like the way it's filmed and the way the core is made, like the way it looks. It's interesting that you can relay something like that without actually having to spell it out, basically. You know what I mean? And they did a really good job with that, I thought.
Definitely. A couple more things, kind of like vaguely, like just kind of around the whole story before we get into the questions that we want to talk about. So they're talking about like time travel and space travel.
Right.
And basically the space travel that they're describing goes against the laws of relativity, which is one of the complaints that one of the officers has on the ship. But basically the way this ship can travel, it's like a black hole, but basically it takes space, it takes 2 points in space and folds space as if it were a piece of paper together, so the 2 points meet and it passes through. So it's covering all of this space, but the ship really isn't moving.
It's like a portal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting because that is how, as far as I understand it, that is how space travel was discussed and used in the movie Dune, in the Dune books, where they have like space folding ships, which is like really cool, but also like
unsettling.
How is space something that can be folded? Like,
yeah, that's for a different mind than mine.
No, I'm like super good.
My mind is not there yet.
No way. No, I'm definitely not in. I can't do that. One nice thing about the ship, it's just funny when like these movies from the 80s or 90s are talking about the distant future and they're like, oh yeah, we're going to have all this. And it's like, there was something in particular. I can't remember what you were saying. We were talking about it and how you were just like, it's funny that they think we would have this by now.
Right, because like in the 1997, like in the 2040s, they're probably like, oh my God, we would have like spaceships, we'd have this and this and this. Because it seems like it would be so, it's like us thinking how it would be in like the year like 3000. It's like, I'm sure, and the way that I would word it is like, in many situations, I think that things progress like unbelievably quickly, but sometimes they don't progress as quickly as we think that they're going to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, exactly. So I think it's one of those situations where like they're like, what can we think of futuristic wise? Well, there'd probably be X, Y, and Z, and it's like we have a lot of those things now. You know what I'm saying?
Like,
so,
I mean,
like,
AI is really prevalent
and we can
nowadays.
Like we have FaceTime, we have like all Bluetooth, we have all this stuff that like they have now. So.
Yeah, I mean, not anymore, but I mean, we have supercomputers in our pockets.
Sure.
A lot of people have computers on their wrists, computers in their ears.
Yeah.
Give me till like the beginning of next year, and I'm gonna have that Apple Pro Vision.
Oh wow! Very
Ooh,
cool.
I can't wait. I spent $3,500 to have a screen on my face.
That seems worth it for sure.
I'm glad we're on the same page about this.
Yeah.
And I appreciate your support. Okay, I'm buying it right when it comes out.
Go ahead, boob.
Boob. Go ahead, boob.
You little boob. You little booby.
Boob. All right, let me just take a quick little once over here. That's all good. That's all good. We talked about that.
Wait,
yeah. I'm tired, so I have my whiny voice.
Pecking.
I have my mustache in my mouth.
You have all night to question me.
Okay, cool. Speaking of questions, let's question stuff.
You go first, Ben.
Sure. All right, so in this movie, it's kind of like vaguely spoken of that, like, you know, this ship went to this unknown dimension. It went into a black hole. It went somewhere, and when it came back, everyone was dead. Mm-hmm. Everyone was fucked up. Like, the ship itself almost has a mind of its own.
Right.
And at multiple points in the movie, it is compared to the ship traveling to hell and back.
Right, exactly.
Now, in the headspace of this movie, do you think that it just went to... Do you think the ship ended up in a parallel dimension where it's just all chaos, all pain, very like Hellraiser, like every sensation, like just like the end-all be-all torture? Or do you think it actually went to a physical place of hell and came back? Where do you think this ship went for everyone to react the way they did?
I think the way that the ship travels, I think it would like. So I was going to mention this too, so I will. So there's a movie that's called Ghost of Mars, and like on Mars, it's with Ice Cube. It's a dope movie, honestly. Ghost of Mars. It's a great movie, but it's gory as hell too. But basically, Mars is a planet. There's like this thing going on where these people are just savage people, so they just like torture each other, and they're just like. It's super barbaric. Like, it's just very bad. Like, everything is bad. They're, like, same thing. Like, pulling eyes out of their heads, like, sewing things on their face. And, you know, just, they just look crazy. You know, right? They got loincloths and stuff. It's nuts.
Loincloths and
asses
stuff.
Out and stuff. It's crazy.
Ass and titties.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
But
I'm sorry.
That's kind of what I think is it probably went to, like, a planet or somewhere that is, like, just, like, really terrible.
Yeah.
I also sometimes, though, do think, because I've seen that movie a lot, I do think that there is something to be said about, like, maybe the ship is, like a poltergeist or something, like something like that, where the ship itself is, like, alive, in a sense now. Yeah. I think that's definitely a thing, because, like, I like the way that, like, they would kind of refer to it like she won't let us leave. Like, she won't let us do that. And it's like, I think the ship also it's the core. Like, it's that core, like, the focus is on that core so much. Yeah. And as the core moves and gets back to how it is, things get crazier and crazier.
I think so, yeah.
So I think maybe, like, something was done to the core itself, or, like, the core was, like, cursed or something like that. That's what I think. What about you?
Well, I think kind of similarly, the doctor... what's his name? Dr. Weir.
Yeah.
Dr. Weir, Sam Neill's character. Yeah. He kind of gets to the point where he almost lets it slip, where he created this power. I appreciate this. He created this power. He created this core to help him travel and do this, but he didn't fully understand what exactly it would be doing.
I don't know if he could.
Yeah, I don't think he had the understanding or the knowledge of, like, the exact workings. He just kind of, like, let it go a little too quickly, which I think has happened in real life too.
Right.
So maybe I think he created a portal to a different dimension where it's just like 24/7
like torture,
terrible. Yeah, like not
like they
good
want
shit.
it to be like that.
Yeah, like they went there. The core had its power, and the core kind of took over these people and turned them against each other.
Same thing, though. I have to say again with that, though, is like really intense correlation between that movie and Hellraiser, because
seriously.
So when you watch Hellraiser, no matter which one it is out of any of those Hellraisers, like the main thing is that when the Cenobites come, which are like Pinhead and all those people, they always end up saying, like, you know, we have such sights to show you. Like, they're not like, they want pain. It's a pain thing. Like they think. So I think it's, and he almost says the same thing, because Sam Neill says, where we're going, we don't need eyes to see. Remember that?
Which is so
like,
gross.
Right after he tears his own eyes out. Yeah, right? So it's almost like a similar thing where it's like this place welcomes pain, and they find that's like a freedom in pain kind of place.
Yeah.
Which, like, I think that happened. But I think it also is a spiritual thing where, like, the ship itself is, like, totally messed up. Like, it wouldn't matter if they got that ship back and they killed Sam Neill and all that, the ship itself, but it would still always happen, I think. You know what I mean? Because the crew is, like, dead on that ship. You know what I mean? So it's like, I think that's how that is.
Pain, man.
And speaking of that nasty-ass ship, though, like, it's got a pretty intense way of killing everybody on that ship, I would say. People had a lot of unique deaths.
Yeah. It's just a lot of playing with your mind and making unreal scenarios real in your head.
I agree.
Like, for one person, they kept, like, showing this woman's sick son. I don't think you got it.
I didn't get it.
Go ahead. Away.
There's a name here. It's pregnant. Go ahead.
Pregnant. Like, there's one woman on the ship, she keeps seeing her, like, ill son.
Yeah.
And that just kind of drives her to insanity.
Yeah, but that just, we talked about this. That irritates me, because I'm like, so it, like, the ship basically makes people hallucinate, right? So you, like, hallucinate your son or whatever. But her son is, like, ill as hell. It's like, why the hell would your son be on the ship? You know that this is obviously not real.
Yeah.
How the hell would your, like, 11-year-old son with
paraplegic.
lupus.
Yeah, literally.
or whatever he's got. How's he gonna? That's just stupid to me. I was like, that's easy. I just cut my finger and it hurt.
That hurts. You should also be talking into your microphone,
but yeah, like I don't get that one. Anyway, so what is your favorite death? Would you say?
Oh gosh,
the most. They're not favorite, but the most like the one that stood out the most to you, the one that you were like, ooh, that was like pretty gross.
Which is funny because it's not even a death; it's somebody getting so close to death. Which is what's his face?
That guy, Baby Bear.
Baby Bear.
Justin.
Everyone's
Justin. Explain to everybody how Justin goes.
Sure.
He slowly goes.
So Justin, he interacts with the core. Like he physically interacts with the core. He goes into the core because at one point they're researching this core and it basically opens a portal inside the core.
Yeah.
And he goes in, he comes out, and he's not right.
Right.
Obviously, if this thing is taking you to a hell dimension, it's going to fuck you up if you go inside of it.
Of course.
So he comes out and he's just like, I don't feel well. So he's just kind of being a Whomping Willow. And then he ends up basically, he hallucinates to an extent and goes into an airlock and locks himself into an airlock. And then basically...
Depressurizes it.
He depressurizes the airlock and opens the airlock into space. Like
which
does
would
it
be like the worst death ever. By the way,
he like does it to himself where he's sitting there and he like closes the door and he's just like talking to this other woman on the ship and he's like, nope, I'm done. I've had enough. It's over. And then he basically just like starts this sequence to depressurize and open the airlock. And after he does that, after he basically gets to the point of no return, he snaps out of it. So then it's the terror of realizing what has happened and the fact that you can't get out.
Mm-hmm. And the airlock door is opening.
Yeah, it's opening. There's nothing he can do. The entire time, the people that are trying to save Baby Bear is Mama Bear, the other woman on the ship.
Right. Who sees her dead kid or her sick kid, right?
Yeah. Discount Trinity.
Basically.
I can't remember the actress's name. She's the mom in 101 Dalmatians, the live action.
She is,
with what's her face. I think she looks like what's Trinity's real name?
Carrie-Anne Moss.
No. Carrie-Anne Moss.
Yeah, Carrie-Anne Moss, yeah.
She looks like a blonde,
less
pretty Carrie-Anne Moss. And then Lucius Malfoy. They're all trying
Jason Isaacs.
These people know who these people are by their characters. They're all trying to like rescue this kid while he's just like fully like demising himself. So while this is happening, Morpheus, lots of Matrix callbacks.
All these characters, man.
Lawrence Fishburne is outside, like, working on the ship, and they start telling him, like, Captain, like, he just opened the airlock. Like, he's going to get blasted into space in 60 seconds. So Lawrence Fishburne is, like, haul-assing back. He's out in space. He's in a spacesuit. He's getting to where this airlock is so he can save this kid, like, the minute the door opens. So the door opens. Homeboy is just bleeding from every orifice he has in his body. And Lawrence Fishburne does a 0G, just jump into space, tackles him back into the ship, and then they basically rescue him. Obviously, he's like at death's door. But they end up putting him in like a medical capsule and they put him back into like a medically induced coma. The same kind of like forever sleep that they sleep in while they're traveling these long distances. They're just like, you know what? Let's just kind of like stabilize his body. We'll deal with it back when we're on Earth. But dude, I mean,
to give people an idea too, you know, when you're depressurized in space, you know, it's basically like he's getting crushed by a tremendous weight from the inside out. So his veins swell. So because the pressure on his blood, like his veins would explode from inside out. Yeah. His like body is crushed basically. His lungs are collapsing. It
sucks all the air out so it collapses his lungs.
It's a terrible thing. So that already had happened to him basically. And then he was quote unquote saved. So he was like totally messed up.
Yeah. Like anything that could go wrong did go wrong with
100%.
him. Yeah. So I think that one's cool because just of all the drama and everyone involved in it, literally every
cool
single
one.
character is included.
It's a rough one, and that's like one of the first major ones too.
Yeah.
Which is like cool. Yeah.
What about for you?
I did like that one a lot, but I did really like the death of the captain when he's like looking for the bomb and looking for the bomb.
Hey man, we don't know that he died.
He died.
He could have saved.
Basically, what the captain is like Sam Neill gets on a ship. This is when Sam Neill's kind of acting strange, but they're not 100% sure, but they're kind of worried. Like he's kind of acting weird. He's slowly losing his mind, basically.
Yeah.
And he's on the ship for a little bit, and then like the captain's on the ship, trying to pack stuff up, get stuff ready to leave. Basically,
Yeah, they're like, this is a lost cause. We're getting out of here.
Yeah.
We're going back to Lewis and
get rid
Clark
of
and leaving. Yeah.
So the Lewis and Clark, he's the captain's on the ship, and then he's basically told that Sam Neill is on the ship. Check to make sure nothing is on the ship that shouldn't be. He's looking around, and it's kind of a tense scene. He's going through these things. Well, like slowly but surely, he ends up going to this part, rips open the wall. You see this bomb. It's got like 3 seconds left on it. He just puts his head down and boom. It's like he found it, but just to see that it was gonna go off. You know what I mean? Like it's just a rough one, but it was a good one.
Yeah.
It was
So
a good
Sam Neill's character basically booby trapped the ship
Yeah.
to like kill as many people as he could, including.
So they couldn't escape. Yeah. Make it
Lawrence.
harder for them to escape. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a really cool one too.
Poor guy, man.
I know.
He was a great captain.
He was. Yeah. Yeah, he really was. Which brings us to the next question, really.
Yeah. Let me read through it really quick.
Go ahead.
If you were the captain of this ship, when would you decide to call it off? Like, when would you be like, you know what? This is a lost cause. Everybody dead. Let's get the hell out of here. And do you think Lawrence Fishburne made the right decisions at the right time? Like, do you think he was like, you know what? We've gotten to this point. It's time to get rocking and rolling.
I think yes and no. I think that he did for the most part because in the situation, it would be hard to make a judgment call right away.
Yeah.
We have the luxury of looking at it from an outside point of view, literally. So
we don't have lives,
right?
We don't have people looking.
So
to
we
us.
can think like that. So that being said, though, I think that in an ideal situation, I think that I would have taken care of it a little bit more quickly, because I feel like Sam Neill pretty much right away shows red flags of him kind of willing to sacrifice a lot of things and people for a ship that doesn't even have
that he doesn't even understand how it works.
So I think that there's that. I think also too there's a part in the movie where basically they're ready to go, but then the doctor runs back onto the ship and they go after him. I would have left his ass on that ship and called it a day. I'm sorry. That's your ship. You know how to fly it. You know how to make, you know what I mean? You know how to captain it. I'm good. We're not going to play around anymore. We already told you. So I think in that sense, he shouldn't have been as compassionate. I would have probably left because it's just for the greater good of the entire crew at that point. You know what I mean?
Well, and
so
I think about it kind of the same way. I think he does make the right decisions. I don't know if the timing is correct though, because it kind of it goes he's a successful pilot. He's a successful captain.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing. He is in charge of these people and these people trust him.
Right.
But I think it gets to the point where he did not get there by putting his own thoughts first. I think he thought about the good of the mission.
Right.
And he thought about the good of why he was hired.
Right.
He was hired by Sam Neill's character to do this. So he's like, well, we have to do it.
Right.
I'm a man of my word. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. And then I think the moment it clicks where he's like, I am this close to being out of control. I need to save my crew. I need to save the people. I need to save the many by sacrificing the few.
Right. Exactly.
Dr. Weir, you are out of your depth. You have lied your way onto this expedition, and it's time to part ways, and we need to be done. And honestly, he does. I mean, I think it's just back to him being a good captain. He doesn't want to leave anyone behind. He doesn't want to, lose Dr. Weir. He just knows that he can no longer be calling the shots. He's like, no, this is my time now.
Right.
This is my ship. This is my crew. These are my lives that I have been put in charge of. So I think, unfortunately, I think it's just a touch too late that he realizes this.
Yeah.
But he really is... Honestly,
he's doing the best
control.
he can. Yeah. He's doing the best he can.
Yeah.
Plus, you got a lot of different opinions that you got to consider. But I think he did a good job. He's Lawrence Fishburne.
I love Larry.
He's Morpheus, for Christ's sake. He's not gonna not make a good plan. You know what I mean?
He's that custodian in Dream Warriors.
Exactly.
He's got big old hair in that movie.
Last question for you, Ben.
Yeah.
Of the night.
Yeah.
What do you think out of this situation, if you found yourself in this situation, what do you think the scariest aspect of the entire situation would be to you personally?
As we know and as we've discussed on this podcast, I have a really hard time when I am not in control of a situation.
Sure.
Space would be really tricky because I'm not in control of space.
Sure.
Like,
Right.
what am I supposed to do at that point?
Right.
So I think for me, the scariest part for me, I think I would really start losing it once it starts coming out that, like, Dr. Weir doesn't know how the ship works. They
Right.
don't know what happened to the crew. Nothing is for certain and nothing is what we were told.
Yeah.
That's when I'd start losing it. I'd be like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah.
This shit is bananas ass. Let's go. I've had enough. I like spelling calms me down.
Yeah.
I would be like, we're 1,000% done with this. We need to
Yeah.
get out of here. I am everything, all of this structure and all of this supposed power and information and knowledge has just been shattered. We gotta go. We gotta get back to where it's safe and where it's known.
Sure. That makes sense.
To quote Arrow, the leader of the Volturi Council from Twilight Saga Breaking Dawn Part 2,
Ewy.
only the known is safe.
Ewy.
I love those movies. I just watched them.
That's
Should we have a podcast?
No,
Oh, okay.
no.
Joke's on you guys. That's what we're doing in October.
No, we're
Every
not.
week of
Gross.
October, we're coming out with a Twilight
Gonna
podcast.
lose listeners? Come on, man.
I think we'd gain listeners.
We might.
Everybody drop those comments below. Let us know.
Okay.
Let us know you want a Twilight podcast. This is a little puppy doggy.
It does.
What's the scariest part for you, Chadwick?
That kind of stuff, I think it's like in that specific situation, it's a tricky thing for me. So I notoriously have always liked sci-fi horror the most. When I say that, I mean, like, even if you were to say like your favorite like Friday the 13th movie, mine is Jason X.
Always.
Any like franchise slasher movie that's a space themed slasher movie, Freddy in space, Leprechaun in space, Child's Play, all of them have a space one.
Child's
They're
Play
all-
is a space one?
I don't know. It probably does. They all do, honestly. The most of them do.
Michael Myers
they're
ain't in space.
fantastic. Yeah, because he's not as cool. But but those ones are great. They're my favorite. So, and the reason I think that those movies are the scariest is because you don't have a lot of choices. Like if you're, let's say Michael Myers is chasing you, if I just chose a direction and I ran as fast as I
watch
could,
me drive out of Haddonfield right now.
he would just he'd be gone.
Bye.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying. Whereas like you have Jason X, where he's like on a ship with you. You're in the middle of
You're on that
nothingness
ship
forever.
Yeah.
So
There's
you either
nothing
have
you
to
can
die,
do.
you have to kill him, or you have to like figure it out. Like there's no
Kill
way
or be
around
killed.
it. You have to. Yeah, there's no way around it. So it's super scary. So there's that for me for sure. That's one of the scariest aspects.
I feel you.
In that situation and Event Horizon, though, the scariest situation would not be like not getting back home. It's not dying. It's getting to like me dying on the ship and me having to go to that realm of like torture and being like damned forever on a planet or wherever I am that I wasn't even born on. I'm just like, that's just my purpose now. It's just to be like this pain thing.
This pain
That's
receptor.
so gross to me. Like that's like those. It's like going back to the Matrix again. It's like humans is like batteries. Like it's like your purpose is just to be this like this thing. You know what I mean? And that would freak me out. Like I would not be okay with that. I would be okay with dying on the ship as long as like it meant that I didn't die. And I have to like after I die, I have to be like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's not something I would
On
be
your own
into.
terms
That would be
situation,
super
yeah.
scary to me. Yeah.
That's wild.
I think that movie, though, if anybody is really interested, I do encourage people to watch it for sure. But there's so many aspects of that movie you could find scary, personally.
Yeah.
And like I said, I don't think it could have been done better. It's a good movie. It's a very good movie. It's very
so
jam packed. It pretty much starts right up right away. Like it's not a slow burn in any way. It's really good. It's super good. If you're not into gore, don't watch it. But if you are, it's fantastic. It flies under the radar, I'd say.
Yeah. It's very, again, very good practical effects. Very
great.
similar to The Fifth Element.
It's like an
last
8 out of
time.
10 for me. Like it's a
yeah.
good movie. Yeah,
I think I said it 4 or 5 times while we were watching it. I forget how good it is.
it's a very good movie. Yeah,
It's great.
yeah, I would definitely highly recommend it to everybody.
There is one part, though, that I have to complain about when Lawrence Fishburne grabs that gun out of the wall and it's just fully a Dyson vacuum cleaner.
So they use like stuff like that in Star Wars and stuff.
Yeah, but
What, it's good enough for Jorge Lucas, but it's not good enough, for Lawrence Fishburne to use?
yeah.
Also, it's a Dyson. That's like a $3,000. It's probably more money than a laser gun would even cost.
Back at not $3,000.
At Dyson, we're better than everyone else because we have a bowl on our vacuums.
That's been a minute since those commercials were out.
I know. But yeah, anyways, check out the movie. I would encourage everyone to look on the Instagram so you can see that core because it's disgusting.
It's gross looking.
Do you want to talk about October at all?
I was hoping to kind of chat about that a little bit here.
Yeah.
So October, we're not going to give away the specifics, but basically in October there are 5 Mondays. And the last Monday in October is October 30th, the day before the high holiday, Halloween.
Yeah.
As y'all probably could have guessed by now, we're fans of horror. We're fans of different franchises. So we thought, to kind of push us a little bit, try something new, we're going to be releasing an episode every Monday in... Excuse me, I'm just burping a lot right now.
Disgusting.
We're going to be releasing an episode every Monday in October, and we're going to be going over some of our favorite horror movies, some of, kind of lesser known horror movies.
Yeah, we're not going to do the ones that you always know. We're trying to get ones out there that we can encourage people to watch for the first time. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but they'll be great movies. One of us has at least watched them, like either me or Ben.
I've seen a couple
can vouch
of them.
for them, or both of us have, depending on the movie. But they're great movies. They're definitely good ones. They're just flying under the radar. Go ahead, Ben. Keep going. Sorry.
I'm yawning. No, it's fine. I was like, keep talking.
What, am I boring you? Okay.
Yeah. It's my bedtime. But yeah, I'm really excited about it. We're going to be doing that, and then we're going to take, November a little bit slower.
Yeah.
And, depending on how October goes, maybe...
And then it's going to be Christmas time.
Maybe it'll happen again in Christmas time.
Christmas. Yeah.
How about this? For Christmas, I know we already talked about Harry Potter, but that was season 1. Let's bring Harry Potter into season 2.
Maybe.
Let's just live stream ourselves watching all the Harry Potter movies. We'll have like a 24-hour stream.
We'll take a vote or something. We'll do something cool.
We'll have a 24-hour stream, and we'll have a little donation button. And you guys can donate money to us while we watch
To
movies.
Carlos. Give it to Carlos.
Just to Carlos. The Carlos Fund.
The Carlos Fund.
Well, any last little thoughts, poems, or ideas about what struck you about this movie?
No.
Clark Kent?
No, I think that I got everything out. I think everyone should check it out. I love that movie. It's great.
It's great. You have a shirt about it.
I have a shirt that I get complimented on a lot with. Yeah. You should definitely check it out, guys.
It's a great movie. You know what? And that being said, I think we are all wrapped up for episode
4.
4?
Yeah, I think so. Or yeah, it's 4. It's 4.
It's 4. 5?
4 or 5. Take a guess.
Episode 4
whatever
or 5.
You guys want it to
Look
be.
at the top or the bottom of where you're watching or listening to this, and it'll tell you.
Yee.
All
right.
That being said, y'all have a great rest of your day. Have a great start to your day whenever you're listening to this. I just really want you to enjoy yourselves, eh?
Yeah. Bye.
And that's it.